what I'm currently studying. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm shaking up the thought of you naked in my arms, telling me, baby, instead of making love, I'm sorry if I'm not trying to. I'm sorry if I'm not trying to. Everything that I've been through, I'm sorry if I'm not maturing too. I'm shaking up the thought of you naked in my arms, telling me, baby, instead of making love, let's make each other happy. Show me who you are. I wanna kiss every scar on your body and your mind, 'cause I know that you want me.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand this. For those who are just getting in, I'm going to show again my document that I was just reading. And then I'm going to tap into my little small lesson that I received, my download that I received, right? My download that I received, right? So it's like, when it comes to this world, when it comes to this matrix and the way that the matrix is necessarily designed and work, right? Like the world has been kind of taught that you can either be good or you can be evil, right? The world has taught you that there is no in-betweenness when it comes to it. You're either all bad or all good, or you're bad trying to become good, or you're good until you taint it to be bad, right? The thing about this matrix, the thing about this world is that that's one of the things that keep us stuck, right? Because we're not realizing that we have the power. It's in our design type, right? We have the power to be both. In this world, a lot of times we are met with a lot of evil. We are met with a lot of negative energy, right? You're met with obstacles within your life. You're met with things that kind of like, say, like the most example I can give out of this is like, if you are basically, if you're someone where you're living a certain lifestyle, right? And nothing but like negative and bad things keep happening to you, and you're kind of necessarily trying to figure out why are all of these bad things happening to you, right? And you're overly fixated on the ideal of bad things happening to you and why they're happening, right? So it's like you are pulling in more of these experiences in towards you. And most of the time, the reason why our soul pulls in these experiences towards us is because we are necessarily needing to figure out what the shadow side of us needs to grasp from these lessons, right? We're trying to figure out why we even go through negative energy, why we go through negative experiences, negative things. It's not until you are okay with experiencing negativity, it's not until you're okay with experiencing evil that you receive good, right? It's through your knowledge of understanding what evil truly is, what negative energy truly is, right? It is a form for us to be able to transmute ourselves, transmute the energy within our vessel. And it's like a lot of times you're met with different people who will push this energy up out of you, right? So it's like you have certain people that are placed in this world that are meant to serve a certain task, and these people are still all a part of the program, right? So it then still ties into that good and evil. It's like the person who is doing evil, the person who is designed to do evil, is for a purpose, it's for a reason, right? This is the way that the universe is set up. It's not until you truly understand this that this matrix world gets a little easier to be able to handle, right? So it's through your negative experiences that you are no longer viewing it as negative. You're no longer viewing evil as what this matrix has taught us to believe that evil is, right? What is really evil? What is really bad? What is it to experience evil? What is it to experience bad, right? It's only when you allow the energy to absorb within your light and then infiltrate your light that it causes the imbalance within your world, and then it's like your matrix system is now infiltrated with negative experiences, right? You have to first understand that your high experiences are just as important as your lows. Your low experiences are just as important as your highs. There's a lot of things within this world that was designed to be evil. It was always in its design type to be like this, right? And again, that's the duality of life. That's the duality of this world. Those who are meant to do good, those who are meant to go out and become good, or those who are meant to transmute and transform into something better, right? You have to experience evil. You have to truly experience what it is to be filled in darkness within your matrix system, right? Because you cannot handle, like, you are lying to yourself to say that you're able to handle the good, the heaven, the peace. You're lying to yourself if you can't go just as low in the depths of the darkness, right? This is what that shadow energy is all about. It's about you being okay with being the devil, and you being okay with being God, right? And knowing when to completely merge the both. If you are overly within your devilish and demonic energy, then you are what I would consider to be, it's like a sickness within the mind. You have allowed what they consider the serpent's energy, right? This is the energy that caused men to fall. And okay, so what a lot of people don't know, like, when it comes to the word divine, right? When it comes to divine energy, when it comes to the word divine, we naturally hear that word and we think like, oh, good, like goodness, right? It's actually not the rootness of the word. It's not the genuine meaning behind it, right? Divination is holy and unholy, right? Basically, like, when it comes to divination, when it comes to divine, is one of the names. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm overstepping myself. When it comes to divination, when it comes to divine, stepping myself. When it comes to divination, when it comes to divine, the originality of this meaning of this word was the balance of both. One who could become and be of evil, and one who could become and be good, right? So that's why a lot of times when it comes to like spirituality, they're kind of deemed as shamed as like devils, demonic, devil worshippers, different things like this. And then you have some people who kind of shed light into the spiritual community, and they kind of praise the spiritual community, right? But neither is wrong, right? That's the duality of it. That's the duality of divination. That's the point of divination, right? It's your willpower to be able to be both and be okay with being both, right? Because if you're not necessarily okay with being both, you don't know yourself for real, you know? And you're also afraid of yourself. And excuse me if I'm not pronouncing this right? It's Nakash, right? One of the names of the devils, the serpent, the snake, Nakash. Basically, like I said, this energy here is what caused men to fall. This is what caused men to start deceiving each other, because they can hear the hiss of Nakash speaking in their ear, right? The thing about this, though, this is the point of the root word of divination, because we all naturally, I kid you not, every single person on this realm has the energy of Nakash in them, right? We all can hear the devil. We all can hear that voice, that small ass, tiny ass voice that's whispering to us, right? And this is where you have that choice and that willpower to do and choose to become who you want to become. And it's like you have to filter out what's your truth through that voice, right? That's the point of the voice being there in the first place. Again, this is the matrix type of system. This is the matrix type of coding. So the matrix set up certain things to work in our favor, work in the favor of the ones who are able to honestly maneuver around this energy, through this energy, right? So it's like this entire realm is of course, as we know, like a learning place, a learning ground for us, right? It's kind of like we come down here to like test ourselves, to test our ability, to test our willpower and what we are able to do, what we're capable of doing, and how we can like furtherly kind of push ourselves out there to become the greatest, most like I want to say angelic, but I don't even want to say angelic because each soul is designed differently. And you see, I almost slipped out and said divine again. So it's like each soul is designed differently. So it's like depending on who that person wants to become within a soulness, within that incarnation, is their complete choice, right? So the thing, like the depths of it, is like a person could have experienced different reincarnated lifetimes in the past, in your past life, where you were looked at as someone who was like very like evil, hellish, destructive, dictator type of energy to you, right? One that kind of like destroyed everything in your way. And you can go through incarnations and incarnations and incarnations of this, right? And the wild thing about the Matrix is that, you know, the religion has kind of taught us that, okay, if you're necessarily a certain type of way, you're going to experience hell, and if you are a certain type of another way, you will experience heaven. That's not necessarily how things work within the Matrix realm. We are here to be whoever the hell we want to be, right? So if someone chooses to be the devil, they can be that, and they can learn from those experiences throughout their incarnated lifetimes. And if someone chooses to be of light, they can be of light and go through these experiences within their incarnated lifetimes, right? But at some point, there becomes a switch where they've grasped and gotten everything they need to get from their light side, and they're now entering the realm of like darkness, right? And then you have certain other people who have entered who are kind of like finished with their dark era, and they're moving more into their light era, right? So with this, it's about understanding each other. We are here to understand where each one of our soul development is, right? Where we are within our soul development and journey. And it's like, until we understand that no one is nor evil nor good, we are both, we will forever judge and be afraid of ourselves. Because I kid you not, if you come across someone who you deem as bad, something in you is that. If you are someone who you consider yourself bad and you come across something that is good and you like what you necessarily see, or it's like you are attracted to the good within a person, you are that as well, right? So a lot of times the bad runs from the good because it is unfamiliar with it, and the good runs from the bad because it is unfamiliar with it as well, right? That, again, this is what this merging within your shadow energy is about. It's not until you finally reach an incarnation where you are completely okay and you have completely surrendered to the underworld, and you completely surrendered to the higher realms as well, that you can kind of like leave this matrix, right? It's not until you become one with yourself again. It's not until you understand the higher realms as well, that you can kind of like leave this matrix, right? It's not until you become one with yourself again. It's not until you understand the laws of the way that this matrix is, and the way and why the matrix was designed in the first place. We designed the matrix. We are the ones who are controlling all of this. We control everything. A lot of people think that the government is in control. A lot of people think that a lot of people just feel that we have zero to no control, and this is far from the truth. We have all power, right? We are, it's like a Sims game. We are the one controlling our vessel. We are the one controlling our life. And yourself is sitting somewhere, and literally controlling you like a player, right? Your higher self is highly aware of you being in this realm. It's highly aware of you being an avatar, and it's highly aware of every single freaking experience that you have, right? If you choose not to connect in this realm, it's highly aware of you being an avatar, and it's highly aware of every single freaking experience that you have, right? If you choose not to connect with that highest version of yourself, you are going to be lost in this damn game. You're going to be lost in this game. You have to be willing to do what's necessary to kind of like you have to be willing to do what's necessary. You have to be willing to merge within your shadow and not be so afraid of darkness, you know? There's a thing that I do within my spiritual state, right? Where I'm trying to figure out what I could tell. The spiritualness is so sacred. But it's like I have been like within a void of like complete darkness, right? Like my spiritual state has literally sat within nothing, right? The feeling of nothing, the feeling of feeling nothing at all, right? The feeling of seeing nothing, feeling nothing. You're just there. It is such an overpowering feeling within your body, your vessels, like you're just up by nothing but darkness. But the thing about this space is you have all knowing, right? But if you're someone who you're very fearful, if you're someone who is very hard for you to kind of like sit within that space, even sit alone within yourself, even just be okay with like being to yourself, right? If you're not someone who you're okay with being and sitting within this energy, that would scare the shit out of you, right? Experiencing that would scare the shit out of you. Experiencing that energy would scare the shit out of you because you wouldn't be able to handle the in-depthness of the darkness that this universe holds. In order for you to truly understand life, in order for you to truly understand yourself, you have to go back to that darkness. You literally have to engulf your spirit in darkness, right? When you do this, you then begin to kind of like merge yourself within the underworld, right? So you are experiencing things that the underworld has to like offer you, right? But what the beauty of this is that, again, you have a controlled player. You have your higher self that's controlling you. So in this energy, your higher self, your higher self is the one, like, it's literally like a Sims game. It's like, oh, say for instance you want a family, right? And the Sims player is basically just like creating her little family, she done got pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's doing her little do, whatever the case is. She want to create like some unnecessary drama just because she's bored on the Sims game, right? She want to go and argue with whatever. She want to go and start a fight. She want to go end up getting locked up in jail. Like, all these different wild ass, crazy ass experiences that the person who is playing the Sims is okay with doing, right? The person who is playing that sim, you have no emotional connection to that Sims player to the point where you're not willing to put that Sims through things that you're not even thinking twice about, right? So imagine you being like this. Imagine your highest self being this to you. Want to put you through hella different experiences and not give a damn how you feel about it, right? And you just have to kind of look back into your higher self and figure out why your higher self is necessarily putting you through these things. What do you need to grasp within this time frame, right? So the main thing that I've learned is that there is no such true thing as negativity. There is no such true thing as drama. Like, it's all a freaking illusion for your soul growth, right? So it's like we were kind of like overly fixate on certain energies and problems that we have. We were overly fixated on things that are going wrong within our life and not realizing that the only reason that you literally just had this experience was to show you something, right? And if you're not able to see what it is that they're trying to show you, you're going to keep going through different incarnations until you're able to grasp the lesson and the knowledge that's being given to you. If you're someone who you're able to look at that energy that's being thrown at you, that's being brought to you, and you're like, hey, this is matrix shit. What do y'all need from me? What do you need me to see? What do you need me to learn? What is being said to me from the matrix? I stopped viewing people so much as they are the ones speaking to me, and I started viewing it as I'm speaking to myself. Not only am I speaking to myself, but what highest forms of power and energy is speaking to me through these different people, through these different experiences, to show me something about myself, about my life, right? And one thing that I've learned, right? And one thing that I've learned through these negative experiences is that, again, nothing is truly negative, and all of the negative experiences are for you to have more positive experiences, right? You cannot have positive experiences without negative experiences. So for instance, you get a new job, right? That's a positive experience. You, like, the same day that you get a call back from the job that you got it, right? Something you end up having a small issue with your car, and you go and take that situation, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I just got this job, but my car, like, I need, like, you know what I'm saying, it's just something that kind of came up, a problem that just out of nowhere arose. That is the literal duality of this matrix. You cannot have light without darkness. You cannot have darkness without light, right? Until we respect this about the matrix, we're going to forever be crying and complaining about what the matrix is initially doing to us. We have to gain a sense of power in the knowing that it's literally okay to experience. It's okay to have bad experiences, because good comes directly after. I kid you not. And the only reason why bad will be coming back to back to back to back is because you're too hyper fixated on the bad situation that just happened, and you're not attentive to the fact that good is literally coming right behind it. And it's okay that after that good, something bad is coming next. Like, that is duality. When that bad comes, that bad is only there to recharge you to shoot more towards that good, right? But if you are knocked off your pedestal by the bad, then they're going to keep giving you bad, because you're not strong enough to be within your darkness. You're not strong enough to sit within that energy and be okay with it, to not allow it to shift you, to shift your world, to shift your vibration. Be one within yourself. Be one within your vibration, and don't allow anything on this realm to move your vibration outside of your highest self doing that, right? So we even have moments where if we are like not attentive to certain things, and within this realm we have feelings, we have emotions, we need to feel, we need to purge, we need to cry. If you're someone who you're not doing all of these things, your highest self, I kid you not, that sim that's playing your avatar is going to bring in so many different experiences until it breaks you to cry, to purge, to release. We is not going to allow us to ignore ourselves. Now we can keep being in our ego, and like we can keep putting ourselves back into sleep mode because we don't want to deal with the experiences, because we don't want to deal with the reality that we brought ourselves into this realm. We brought ourselves into this matrix system. Sometimes we don't want to fathom that thought because it's just too much. Sometimes we get angry because we're like, why? Like, it's almost like an energy of like, you're just tired of the repetitiveness of it. But while you're sitting here tired and throwing your little baby fits, that person, your higher self that's playing your sim player, is kind of like smirking, like, what's she doing? What he's doing? You know what I mean? Because it understands the inness of it. It understands that you have just as much power within this realm as it has in the higher realm. But you will never know that if you do not connect to your higher self. If you do not connect to the fact that you are playing your own self, you're just gonna, that's when you're asleep. Your avatar is asleep. You know the little freaking trends that come on TikTok where they're showing the Sims breaking through the fourth wall, where the Sim like looks up at the character. Yes, that shit's real. Like, that shit is real. You are that character breaking through that fourth wall, looking up at yourself once you realize that your highest self is playing you. And your highest self can see that it's watching you, that you're watching it. I mean, it's like I'm hearing I see you see me. So it's like your higher self can see you. Once you connect, it can see that you see it, and you will see it. It will be no denying it because you are there and it is there. You know what I mean? And at that point, that's when it becomes fun because it's like game on. So what we doing? You know what I mean? Check in with yourself every freaking day, all throughout the damn day. Keep checking in with you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you're not checking in with the one playing you, your avatar, you done shut your avatar back down and you're back in sleep mode. We have to start putting ourselves back in sleep mode, and we have to actually take over this rhythm, right? So I'm going to take a little bit from the Matrixy program and bring it down just a little bit, right? When it comes to like religions, when it comes to all of these different things that are kind of like molding us, these are still experiences that we have given to ourselves for knowledge, for just teaching, right? It's only when we judge these experiences, it's only when we judge everything on this freaking planet without understanding genuinely why all of these things are even here. Everything is here to teach. Nothing is to be judged, you know? It's to observe, it's to watch, it's to study. Become like a scholar. You know what I mean? It's funny because I have a book, right? I have a book called Perception Implantation, Retraining the Subconscious into Alignment, right? And this is the first book that I ever published. Now, I just recently did my paperback as well, right? I'm waiting on my book to come in. Something that I intuitively know about this is that whenever this book comes in, it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to have errors. I'm probably going to have misspellings within my book, right? And also other things. But the thing about it is that I'm not touching the book. You know why? Because the name of my book is Perception Implantation, Retraining the Subconscious Back into Alignment. I would be contradicting myself to overly analyze every single thing that I've done wrong about the book, right? It is literally contradicting everything about the book because that's the point of retraining the subconscious. It's like we be so hyperly fixated on everything that we've been taught within this realm, and we're not attentive enough to ourselves. It's kind of like the tomato. A person can read something and know that a word is misspelled, right? And they will overly fixate on the fact that that word is misspelled. You know what the word is trying to spell, right? And a person will literally take their brain to overly fixate on the fact that it's misspelled. That goes to show just how fragile and easy the brain is able to be come off track, to judge, to shame, to overly analyze. And that's why I promise you I'm leaving the book exactly how it is, because that's a part of the experience. I'm retraining my mind and other like-minded individuals to be okay with it just being, you know what I'm saying? Be okay with just sitting in knowledge and not judging the knowledge that's being given. Extract what you need to extract from it, and then go and experience and learn and teach in your own mannerism and way as well, right? So that's one thing I love about me. I'm breaking the chains of the judgments of what other people are like, or I'm in the process of breaking through this energy of how this world views me, how this world, none of that matters. That's what your sim is doing in the first place. It is your highest self is taking you through all these different experiences to break and then remake you, to mold you into who they want you to be, right? So it's like, not all the time are we understanding of this. Not all the time are we understanding of what our higher self is doing. But it's so important to just trust yourself. It's so important to know yourself, to learn yourself, to understand who you were before you entered this matrix. Who the hell are you before you enter this matrix? Because I kid you not, when this matrix crumble, you're going back to her. You're going back to him. So it's like, who the hell is that? Who are you outside of this avatar, outside of this meat suit? Who the hell are you, right? That's where we're moving to. That's where the world is moving to. We are no longer within the illusions of this world. You know, we're no longer putting ourselves in illusions. And even if we do put ourselves in illusions, our higher self is like, our higher selves are getting so bored with this matrix. That's why the avatar is bored. That's why the avatars are doing things like killing themselves off, creating unnecessary chaos out of literal boredom, out of literally just like, it's almost like a mad scientist, you know? It's almost like a mad scientist, you know? We created these rhythms, and then just for the experience, just for the social experience of it, you know? Understand that you are one of those mad scientists. Understand that you're one of those smart ass beings somewhere manipulating the energy, manipulating the system. Get back to you, get back to yourself. Which being are you? Who do you belong to? What species do you belong to? What race? Not race, I didn't even say race. What form of being, of life force do you belong to, right? And of course we go through many different experiences. We've had many different experiences, but you have an original, right? Not everyone is an original. Not everyone have been an original. Not everyone has been here since the beginning of freaking time. Like literally, some of us, like the ones who get it, get it. Most of us have been here from the fucking beginning. We created this rhythm. It's not, it wasn't always like this. And see, like my brain right now, I was connected with my higher self, right? But sometimes we'll shoot back down. And then it's like everything that we once knew, we no longer know, right? So that's that still effect of like how easy it is for the avatar to become asleep again. And sometimes your higher self to do it on purpose, because it's like, she figured it out, but you're not finished. You still have more to learn. So they'll put a shield of cloak over us, right? And that's the energy of you can't see until you're meant to see, right? That's the energy as well. It's like we will put a cloak over ourselves, because it's like, you're too smart for your own good, and I'm not finished playing the game. We have to keep playing the game. So we'll go back into the game, right? And we'll go back into our experiences, and then we'll forget, and we will dramify it. But it's still all for the purpose of that version of yourself that's kind of like sitting in that skybox. Like, they need to, like, it's almost like we place ourselves into this rhythm to understand ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? When we are out of this, we don't really have emotions for real. We're very logical thinkers. We're not like, that's why it's so easy for them to kind of like mold our life to be how it is in this rhythm. And then we're kind of like looking at, like, for instance, if you going to the energy of God, you're like, God, why this, why that, why this, why that? And meanwhile, it's like, you're gonna be okay. You're just experiencing. You're gonna be okay, you know. But we're sometimes not okay with that. We're sometimes very frustrated by that. But you have to keep breaking through the fourth wall, fifth wall. You have to keep breaking through. Every time that you put yourself back in sleep mode, you have to break back through it, right? Every time that too many people are around you that are asleep, yes, it's very important to wake them the fuck up or get them from around you, because you are gonna go right back into sleep mode, right? Through the frequency, through the vibration, through the energy. That's what the energy of, and a lot of times we have these what they consider like PCs and stuff like that. We have these different bot type of beings, but it's like at the end of the day, we still are bringing these experiences to ourselves, you know. So it's like, even through the bots, even through those energies, you can literally infiltrate everything around you. You can jump into anything and make it become whatever you need or want it to become. You have no problems for real. Whatever you need to solve, you can solve. If you have a boss that's getting on your fucking nerves, you can literally puppet master that energy, that vessel, to do whatever you want it to do. You just have to know that you're strong enough and smart enough, and you just have to know that you're smart enough to do it. We have to understand the powers that we have within this realm. Anything that is not truly inhabited by a vessel, we can basically like override that system, that computer system within that vessel, right, within that avatar. So it's almost like a free vessel that you're able to get to do whatever you want it to do, right? Which is why a lot of times we're overly obsessively thinking, and then you're wondering why you're having all these negative experiences from a person or from your boss or whatever the case is. But you are controlling your boss. You are doing that every day that you wake up, and before you go to work, you're over here dreading whatever you're dreading, and in the process of that, you then go to work and experience everything that you just hyperly put into your realm, right? And it's not until you're like, okay, I'm done doing that. And you start to shift your energy and you start to not allow certain things to affect you. It's like it's rubbing your logic. You're no longer driven by emotion, right? At that point, you're able to fully take over your energy the way that you need to, and then everything else around you reflects that. If the energy within you is very, very, very chaotic, you are going to keep experiencing chaotic situations, because that's the point. It's showing you yourself. It's showing you something about yourself, right? So it's like we were these logical beings. We were these beings that could not really feel. We didn't know what emotion was for real, right? And so it's almost like their intrigueness with wanting to understand about emotions, which is why this rhythm is so filled with emotion. You know, we're still trying to figure it out. We're still wanting to understand it, right? And that's another thing as well, getting your highest self to become empathic with you, right? That's the thing. People do not know this, but this is a real thing. Your highest self it doesn't care. It's not empathically connected to you. It is very connected to you. And as it being the one controlling you, yes, it's formed some sort of bondage towards you, right? Towards this vessel, towards this avatar. But it's genuinely only from the intrigueness of wanting to keep out there. Like they're wanting to keep at what they're doing in the first place, which is they created the Matrix to basically like experiment, like I said, the mad scientist perspective. So it's like you need to go and actually connect with your higher self, get your higher self to understand that we have, like, that in this vessel we have emotions, we have, like, you can, I'm telling you, I don't even know, I'm trying to explain the best way I can, because I've literally done this, right? It's literally getting your higher self to understand what this version of you go through, right? What this version of you experience. That's the point of their experiments, right? So it's like until you are able to go and give back, until you're able to go and report back to your higher self, it's like it's still overly fixated on trying to experience. So you're going to keep experiencing certain things, but you have to break through that. You have to like let your higher self understand and know that, yes, I have all these different experiences, or I know that you want me to experience all these different things, but I need you to chill the hell out too. I need you to pipe it down a little bit with your experiences, because again, they're like mad fucking scientists. They don't give a shit. They're going to keep sending us through experiences because they're just trying to figure certain things out. And so you are teaching your higher self something. You are teaching that being within that glass box that I like to speak about, something, and meanwhile it's teaching you something as well. So it's like at the end of the day, it's still you experiencing and teaching yourself. You kind of like broke through at this point. Like you're not a mad scientist anymore because you figured it out. You know what I mean? Like you figured out why you created a matrix in the first place. If we created a matrix to experience emotions, pain, all of these different things, report back and give all of that to yourself. You get what I'm saying? And then you can break through, and it's like it's no longer such bad freaking experiences. That highest version of yourself can now bring logic to your avatar. It can now bring kind of like the unempathicness to your avatar, so you're not so overly sensitive. Because that's the thing as well. a lot of times we are beyond overly sensitive to things that we genuinely shouldn't give a fuck about. We just shouldn't. Things are not that serious, you know? It ain't. And it goes in all different areas. Like, even when it comes to death, it's such an illusion over death. It's such this big ass illusion. And there are other beings that are just as mad or madder that has like came into this matrix world as well, right? So from that perspective, you have all of these different beings that have infiltrated this matrix system, and you have to, like, again, that's why you need to go back to figure out who the hell you are, so that you can know which side you're on, and so that you can know what you're doing. Because yes, there are things that have infiltrated this matrix system. So it's trying to, like, I don't want to say keep up the program, but a little bit, right? Because it's like, whatever these type of beings are, they like being here. They like the experience of it, because it's this false sense of power. It's this false sense of, we created this fake ass world and reality that we can just sit in. We don't, it's no repercussion of us being here. We can maneuver this realm to be however the hell we want it to be, and it's nothing anyone can do about it, right? And that's true. This is true shit. It's nothing, the universe ain't gonna do shit about it, because the universe is just the universe, and we are just us. Everything is just it itself. And that's the beauty and curse of a lot of things, is because we kind of want to shame, again, it goes back into wanting to shame evil, wanting to shame bad. But what's really bad? Getting your power. Be okay with darkness. Be okay with being of darkness. Be okay with being just as evil as whatever is trying to arise against you that's evil. Because yes, there are evil as things within this universe that knows that this matrix exists. And again, they've infiltrated this system. So it's like an override within the system. They've overridden the system, and it's not until we have and are taking it back, like, again, tap back into your highest self, so that you can actually fight for your world, your system that you created, right? Because yeah, it was at a point in time it happened. They infiltrated the system. That's why things got so fucking horrible the way they did. It was more so like they created it, and it was like a kumbaya-ish effect of things. And then everything went to shit because, yeah, there's free will. So it's like, if a world gets created, whoever created the world is no one to kind of like say what gets to live and experience inside of it. That's some things that the universe kind of like, we are very powerful, but just as much as we are powerful, we are powerless. It goes both ways. Until you realize that you're powerful. You are both, right? And most of the time you're powerless until you realize you're powerful. So you feel that you don't have any power. If you feel like you're not one of the ones controlling this matrix, you're probably not. You probably are not. You probably were someone who was molded and made by the mad scientists. Yes, they created things outside of themselves. That's where the first, like, that's where the concept of Adam and Eve came from. That's where the concept of like certain white beings came from. They created people. They created things outside of themselves, and they placed all of these different things in a matrix system, and then they placed themselves inside of the matrix system. Are you one of the ones who placed yourself inside of the matrix system, or were you one of the ones created by the ones who created the matrix system? For a fact, I created this matrix system. I was one of the ones creating people. I know this for a fact. Know yourself. Know who you are. And stop letting this matrix, these powerless beings, trick you into believing that they are in power. They're not in control of shit. Nothing. The government is not in control of a thing. The government studies us. The government studies the mad scientists, the government studies the mad scientists, the ones who created them. They want to know why were they created. What the world? They want to know who they are. That's why they study us. I think everyone who stayed for as long as you did, I'm very appreciative of you guys being here. Don't allow people to come in and infiltrate your space too much. Own your space, own you, own yourself. If your highest self gonna let you do it too. I swear to you, if you are so easily moved around and pushed around, yeah, it's gonna let you get stumped on, and it's not gonna care, and it's gonna wait to see how your avatar is, like what is the avatar gonna do? You know what I mean? That's where that free will in us come in, because we're conscious inside of this avatar, conscious as fuck. We are not conscious. So what are we gonna do when we experience? Are we gonna rise in our power and dominate over whatever is trying to dominate over us, or are we gonna cry about it? That's what your highest self want to know. Are you gonna cry about it, or are you gonna do something about it? Same concept with God, huh? People, it's like the concept of like, God, why did you sit back and watch this? Why did you sit back and watch that happen yourself? Why did you react like that to this? Why do you think like this towards that? You can have trained your mind and your brain to be a certain way, and then blame something outside of yourself for the way that you think. We can't keep doing that. We have molded and trained our minds to be a certain way, so we have to untrain our mind. We have to untrain the subconscious from all of the things that we programmed ourselves. We programmed it to ourselves. And so it's like, again, we created this matrix. Say for instance, again, we created a matrix, right? You're driving down the street and you see red sign after red sign after red sign after red sign. You see nothing but red everywhere, right? And this is something that's subconscious, but after about the 5th time of you seeing red, you have conjured up an energy of like negative and dark emotions. You're angry, something's pissing you off or something. Like, it has been a shift once you've seen that 5th thing that was red within your subconscious mind. Now your matrix has shifted, right? And it's a void of an energy that infiltrates your space. Now keep in mind, the color red can be associated with warning, anger, danger, different things like this, right? If you're not conscious that the matrix is just that simple, you have just let yourself be tricked by the damn matrix. And the matrix is not going to give a fuck, because it's that simple. You either get it or you don't. And so if you're so overly like in a kid type of world point when it comes to this world, like a kid who has to learn, who has to discover, who has to figure out, it's going to let you sit there and figure out until you're able to figure out. Not everyone has these gems. Again, we will cloak ourselves until we are ready to escape the matrix almost. You get what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of times, sometimes it's like, oh, like, when are certain people going to wake up? Well, that's according to their avatar, when they're going to wake up. If their avatar is not ready or not bored with the matrix, it's probably not going to wake his avatar up. It probably wants to keep full control over the avatar. But at some point, the being within you is still your soul. You're still one. You're still connected to your highest self. You just placed yourself into this matrix. So it's like once you sit there and realize that you've done this, and then you reconnect with your higher self. I'm losing myself a little bit here, but that's okay too. You see? I'm telling you, like, it's experience. So my higher self is so smart that it is teaching you guys through me, right? Through my avatar, through the way that like, literally just study me. That's all you gotta do is study me right now. I'm an avatar just like you. My higher self is literally controlling me down to everything that it wants me to say. My avatar is done with this matrix. My avatar is bored by this matrix. So until I go, I'm just going to teach about what I already know. What we know, what you know, what everyone knows, but has just forgotten, right? So if the avatar is not ready to leave, it's not going to leave. It's just not. It's going to keep experiencing until it's ready to go. This is my laugh with Intune. And it's a sky. And now it's land. So sky and land. That's giving me, and it did error twice, right? And it's showing red. I just mentioned about as well how the red, and I was about to get angry because again I did this for the third time now and it's still not doing it. So maybe my higher self is telling me, saying study me though, you guys. It did it again for the fourth time. Let me see. For the fourth time. Let me see. Okay, so it did it on the 6th try, right? And I saw like 6 different images. It went from the sky to the land to the sky to the land, right? And then it went to a calf. I like to code the matrix, right? So the way that I would code the matrix is they showed me the cow, right? C-O-W. C is 3 because it's like the numerical alphabet, right? O is 15, and then W is 23, right? And it's so funny because if you look right here, it says Samuel 15:23. So that's for me, that's something for me to look up. That's my higher self telling me that's my next lesson that I would teach on, is to go and look up Samuel 15:23 and Samuel 28:8. And so I would teach from whatever I can't even get it out. You guys get it though. But yeah, okay, so but if I would just finish that out, again, C being 3, O being 15, and then W being 23. So 2 plus 3 is 5. And then you also have 15. I didn't even realize. Oh wow, that was already C-O-W was already 15:23. 3, 6. That's actually pretty cool. So it's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have keep trying to break that down. I just don't need to. That's what they want me to fixate on, right? But I could have gotten mad. I could have gotten aggravated because I was about to get aggravated because I had to do it 6 times, right? I'm not allowing that shit to aggravate me. Like, that's matrix shit. It's that simple. Like, we have to stop allowing matrix shit to just overpower your avatar. It's almost like just look at your higher self like, get the fuck. Like, literally, tell it to get the fuck. Seriously. But also know what your higher self wants out of you too. Don't just abandon and neglect your higher self. Don't be overly mean to your higher self. 11-11. Because it's going to give you everything that you want. That's the point of it too. That's the beauty of it. If you are the one controlling this whole world, if you want a brand new car, what the hell? Go to your higher self. I want a brand new car. Bring me a car, send me a car. Your higher self is going to tell you everything you need to do to get that car. If you do not take that step by step, that's on you. You don't want that car for real. If you want that car for real, you go listen to your higher self. If you want that house, you go listen to your higher self. If you want that job, you're going to listen to your higher self. So if you're not listening to yourself, you don't get anything. You get a crappy ass life until you begin to listen to your higher self. Because she's like, I will give you whatever the fuck you want. He's like, I will give you whatever the fuck you want. I'm sorry, I'm always using she pronouns because I'm a girl. But like, for my men too, I'm always speaking to my men and my women. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool because like that's the type of stuff my higher self do. Like I love teaching. I love experiences. I love I love The Matrix too. I hate The Matrix too, but I love it. My name's not Uno Neo for no reason either, you know? So that's that too. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I will be back again tomorrow around the same time, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Time Zone for anyone wondering. And I appreciate everyone who has stayed this far. Don't forget to hit the like and follow button. Much love to you guys. Much love.